Hi, it's MJ from Lioness Publications. Today, what I want to do is do an update on Zelenskyy and Putin. I did a video about 3 months ago, and everything I was saying in that video has come to pass. The biggest thing was that I was saying that Zelenskyy should not trust Trump because Trump had different interests at heart. And it looks like Zelenskyy knew that, and he didn't trust Trump. And instead, as I said he was going to do, he was going to try and gather up the European community to support him, which they have started to do. So everything that I was predicting or noting as a probability has come to pass. So let's take a look at where we are now, and then we'll look at what we're coming in the future. So if we look at Putin's chart, what we have is and this is earlier, the chart was done for May 15th. We had Uranus actually making a break and adjust angle to Mars. So this is indicating, in effect, his sporadic nature, and especially the use of aggression. So he was saying that no, we're going to do a truce, but then he just sends missile after missile into Ukraine. So at this point, we know he can't be trusted. And we also have Jupiter opposing Mars. Now that actually hasn't come to pass. So actually, 525, it did happen. So in this case, right around that time is when he actually had all the drone strikes. And that was even when Trump got annoyed at him that he was not taking, the talks of peace to heart. Now, we also had, before that, the Mercury-Neptune being squared by Jupiter, trined by Jupiter. So again, that was the lies and, saying, yes, he wants peace when he doesn't. Now, we also have the Saturn squaring Mars. Now, this already happened a while ago because Saturn is at 29, Mars is at 26. A while ago, a few weeks, indicating that even with his aggression, it's not making any difference. So when we look at Putin's chart, it actually calms down, meaning there are very few angles, major angles going on. We always have little angles, but not major things that cause a shift. What we'll do is come back around the beginning of August because that's when it seems like things heat up again. So let's take a quick look at Zelenskyy's chart. And here what we have is a few points, and I covered most of them already. The biggest one I want to note is that Pluto, and again, this is from May 15th, Pluto had been moving to make an opposition to Mars. And it's not going to make it to be exact, which means that a lot of that pressure, that brooding sense of doom, is going to start moving away. So in effect, his Mars is going to start being freed up. It's going to take a while. Pluto is a slow-moving planet. But that conflict piece of it looks like it's going to start going downwards. Now we have Saturn in conjunct to natal Saturn. So that's a break and adjust. And this is in effect everything that was going on. Now that already happened. Saturn was at 29 here, and his natal Saturn is at 28. So he was dealing with a lot of restrictions. And these are restrictions from the United States, what Putin wants. Now, he also had Neptune, in effect, trying Mars, which is actually a nice angle. And that may actually come back a bit. So in this case, it means that there's actually some hope coming about. A hope in that their efforts, their actions can make a difference. Now we have Uranus that's going to be squaring Saturn. So Uranus was at 27, Saturn is at 28. And it's actually going to do the square on about the 13th of June. So this, in effect, could have something to do with the fact that he's getting long-range missiles from the EU. So this could have to do with the fact that he starts using them. And the positive is that he has a way to defend his country. The negative is going to be the perception and how this is going to be taken on the other side. So it won't be taken lightly. Now, what happened at the end of May is that we had Jupiter actually conjuncting Jupiter. And that means opportunities, expansion. So he was actually given more options. EU really stepped up to the plate here, and they're saying they're going to give him more munitions and specifically long-range missiles. This was something that none of the countries had wanted to give because they didn't want to cause a blowback from Putin. But at this point, with the way Putin is leading countries on saying, yes, let's do a truce and not following it up, EU has decided to take that extra step. Now, we still have on Zelensky's front, at some point, that Pluto is going to come and it's going to hit his sun. This could be a make it or break it moment. So it could indicate that, yes, he comes to a very powerful position. Could be that he's knocked right out. That's not happening till next year. But we're still going to come back around the beginning of August because there is some other stuff bubbling up. So we want to sort of get an idea of what's happening around that point to probably the beginning of January. So we'll do another 4 months at that time. So again, EU stepped up to the plate, which I said the last time they would do. And also, he didn't believe Trump, which meant that he didn't, he didn't take the initial deal on the minerals. He waited till the deal was much more favorable to Ukraine. And he's not counting on Trump. That's a big one. EU isn't counting on Trump either. If he's there, fine. If not, they're going to try and do it without him. Hope you enjoyed it and have a great evening. Bye now.